That's
So
funny.
we're gonna go ahead on and get started here, and so that if anybody is watching, they can see it now. And if for those of you that will catch the replay, then I welcome that too. So let's get started, Miss Tamara. So tonight I am bringing on my special guest who reached out to me to let me know that she was going to purchase my book. This book right here, The Mother Wound, a love
Mhm.
story told in blood. And she did. And after reading the book, and before I even asked her to come on live, she left me one of the most beautiful reviews that I have received.
Mm.
And she's not just a reader, and a supporter of the channel. She's also a wellness dentist, someone who has spent her career caring for people in a very physical and clinical way. And yet, this book met her somewhere much deeper than that. So, here tonight to share her honest thoughts about the book and, more importantly, her own personal story of carrying that mother wound, what it looked like, and how she healed it. So if you're watching tonight and you've ever felt like something deeper was, running in your life, like something you couldn't put your finger on, and it's just impacting your life without your permission, I might add, then you're going to want to stay to the end of this, and I have a special announcement at the end as well. So, without further ado, please welcome my guest, Dr. Tamara Dixon. Welcome to Soul Spa Live here on Facebook.
Thank you.
I am
I'm
so.
so honored to be here today because when I read the book, I didn't even think about I would meet you or anything like that, but it resonated so much with me that I had to just reach out to you and let you know that there's a name for it. There's a name for what we go through growing up in that environment that has a mother wound, and it's so important, and I think it needs to be spoken about more and discussed more for sure. um,
Yes.
and there's so many people. I even know a few people that have it and don't realize it or don't know what it's called, and so I'm
Mm,
going to be sharing the book with them, you know.
wonderful.
Hmm.
Well, before we dive into the book and your story, I want the audience to actually get to know you a little bit better. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Dr. Tamara Dixon? What does your practice looks like? How do you show up in the world on a day-to-day basis? And, just for fun, what is your favorite thing to do when you are not taking care of someone's smile?
Well, I'm a with what's called a wellness dentist or a biological dentist. And so what I do is connect how the health of the teeth affects the health of the body. So a lot of people don't know that the bacteria in their mouth doesn't stay in the mouth, it travels through the bloodstream. So when people have bleeding gums, that's a big sign that you have a lot of bacteria going through your bloodstream. And that bacteria ends up a lot of different places and shows up a lot of different ways, like in your heart, in your other organs, your joints, your brain. So they find dental bacteria all over the body, and it contributes to the different diseases. And it can also shorten your lifespan having that bacteria in your organs. So that's what
Mm.
I do. So I
Oh,
test the bacteria, see which ones you have, what diseases are connected with it, and get rid of it and keep infections low in the mouth. But I also do cosmetic dentistry as well. I do aligners to straighten teeth more efficiently.
hmm.
I do TMJ treatment as well. That's the jaw joint. I also do sleep apnea appliances. So those are for people who have sleep apnea and they don't want to wear a CPAP, or they are mild to moderate. They can get an oral device instead of a CPAP. So it's almost like wearing a retainer instead of a CPAP machine. So I have
Oh,
a business. So I have basically two businesses, one for the sleep business and the other one for the oral health business.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay. That is awesome. I was always hoping that they would get some better technology, especially for like sleep apnea,
Oh
as
yeah.
opposed to that big old apparatus that some people have to wear at night.
Yes, yes. And a lot of people can't wear it, so they're, intolerant to it. So they usually will get approved to get a sleep device. And that's covered through medical insurance, by the way, not dental.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So let's move on to this book right here.
Yes.
What exactly made you pick up the book in the first place? Was it the cover? Was it something on the cover? What was it?
Actually, I saw you on Instagram and you were talking about the mother moon and you said you had a book and I was like, I'm going to get her book and see,
Mhm.
what it is. And that's what it was. But you kind of explained it a little bit in the video that I saw. And so when I read it, it was like you were telling my life story almost
Mm,
because we have so much similarities in the book. I don't want to give everything away in the book, but you could speak more on that. But
okay.
like your mother not being there for you,
Okay.
it impacts your life and how it impacts the family dynamics. And then
Mm,
and looking at patterns, you'll see like where does this come from? And so when I dug into it as I was growing up, I saw patterns in the family dynamic of people leaving their kids and other people raising their kids, like all throughout the family. And so it's a lot of mother wounds in the family because of that.
right. Now, did your mother raise you, or was there someone else who filled that role for you?
Yeah, my grandmother actually and grandfather raised me. And so I lived with my mom for like 3 years. That was like first, second, and a little and half of third grade. And
Mhm.
then we went back and lived with my grandparents. And so they did all the heavy lifting, as far as
Mm.
raising us and stuff like that.
So
And
during the time that you did spend with her,
mm,
how would you describe the relationship? Were you close? Was it complicated or
I would say it was complicated because my mother, although she only lived an hour away, we rarely saw her. And so she
mm,
came for holidays, she'll bring us Christmas gifts and stuff like that, but never just coming down to get us for the weekend to give my grandparents a break,
mm.
never nothing like that. And if we did stay with her a weekend or something, you could count it on one hand the whole
Oh,
time.
mm,
And so and that was probably because my grandparents were going out of town or something. She
right.
had, you know, but that's about how it went with her. It was more like a sibling than a mother.
Right.
She was never
Right.
there, and we called our grandparents our mom and dad. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Man, that is definitely a reflection of my own life because my mom didn't raise me either. Her mother did. And
Hmm.
I only saw her when she would come to visit her mother, which
Hmm.
was like holidays and in the summer.
Hmm.
So I can definitely relate to that.
Hmm.
Now, was there a moment when you thought that something ain't right? Like when did you come to that moment like why does she what was going on? Why does she treat me like that? What's her problem?
I think I kind of always felt that way, probably since I was 8, because I was, sensitive as a child. And so I think I've always felt that way. But you're not really allowed to express it like that
Mhm.
in those kind of families because that you don't say nothing about your mom. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's like kind of you can't say nothing about her. You can't, leave it alone, that kind of thing. And so
Were there any times when you got brave enough to actually try to speak out? And when you did, what kind of feedback would you get from your family and friends?
Whenever I tried to speak out, one time it was later, like I might have been in college, I can't remember, but I wrote a letter of like all the stuff she did and or didn't do, and my grandmother was like, "Oh, don't give that to her, just let it leave it alone." So she was never made to be held accountable,
Mm,
and that was like a theme throughout her life. I believe she was never made to be held accountable, and so she wasn't, and and luckily she only had two kids, but
wow.
yeah.
So just coming up in that kind of environment, I don't want to say that. Is there something in particular that you always told yourself as a child? When I grow up, I promise myself I will never ever repeat that. Or if I have children, I will never treat my child like that.
um yes, actually yes. Because the pattern was repeating with my sister, and my sister had a child. She had two children actually, but her oldest she sent to live with my grandmother. And so when I got home from school, she was there, so she's the great
Mhm.
granddaughter at this point. And so I called my sister and I'm like, you got to stop this. So I'm the one that'll break the curses. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
said, you got to
Mhm.
stop this. I said, she
Mhm.
needs to be with you. And it took a lot of me convincing her to take her daughter. And her daughter was 12 at that time, but she had been like off and on living with my grandmother for like, I'm going to say from the time she was probably 3.
Right.
And so, I put her on a plane and sent her home. Of course, everybody was mad at me. I don't care. But it was the best thing ever because now they live together.
Mm.
She lives with her daughter and her daughter's kids. And so, and her son is deceased. So it's
Mhm.
like that's the one you were trying to abandon basically is the one that you need now, you know?
Right.
And if you
Right.
didn't have that relationship from 12 years old, it wouldn't be a relationship.
Exactly.
And she was, how old was she? No, she was about 11 when she was like 10 or 11 when we went to live with my grandmother. But I mean, part of my plea was like, don't, she's going to feel the same way about you as you feel about your mother. And me and my sister feel differently about my mother because with me, I was grateful that she
Mm.
didn't raise me because
Mhm.
she's so mean and evil. And
Mhm.
I was in a better place with my grandmother because she's nurturing, she's matronly, she's, just that mother. She's that mother for everybody.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I felt blessed that I got to be raised with my grandparents.
And
I
so then your sister was like she didn't really care how the mother was as long as she was with her mother.
Not really, because she did care. Because my sister was not easy. She wasn't an easy child,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
not at all.
Okay.
But she was she still kind of held it against my mom. I think that she didn't raise us, and I didn't. So when my mom tells me things like, "Oh, I should have raised you guys," I would say, "Oh no, honey, you did the right thing. If you did anything right in your life, is you let your parents raise."
Okay.
So she gets mad. She gets because she's easy to make mad because she just always mad. But
Right.
that's how she likes to be. And so, but it's the truth. It's the truth, and the truth make people mad sometimes.
Yeah, it
I
sure
found that
does.
out. I
Yes,
found
it
that out
does.
the hard way.
So out of the chapters, there's 16 chapters in the book. Which of those chapters were you like really resonating and saying like, God, that this is my story
I
right here.
think all of them, the whole book. Anybody who has a mother wound needs to read this book because you touch on so many different aspects of it.
Mhm.
The abandonment, the awkward relationship that you have with that person. You know, like my mom, she never even came to none of our games. I mean, we played sports, we did everything. She never once came to support us, and
Mm.
it says a lot. You know, one of my biological father. That's another story. We got to do another talk on that one, but. One of his friends saw one of my mom's friends and she said, "Oh," he said, "Oh, this is his daughter. You know, this was his daughter." And she was like looking at the pictures, like, "Who's the mom?" And he told her who the mom was. She said, "She doesn't have any kids." And she knew my mom since middle school.
Wow.
She had no idea that my mom even had kids. And I'm the second.
Wow.
So she's just always been herself. And, you know, not everybody wants to have kids, I guess, you know? But then she'll say, "I wish I had raised you." So I don't know. It's mixed messages there.
Mm.
But if it wasn't for my grandparents, we'd have probably been in foster care.
Mm. Yep. I definitely can agree with that.
Mhm.
Ooh,
She wasn't
ooh.
trying to raise no kids.
Was there any part of the book that made you angry or made you just feel some kind of way like, man, this is just not an isolated case now, is it? you know?
I think that what really made me mad about it was like the guilt trips that your mom tried to put you on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
just so unrealistic. It's like,
Right.
girl,
Yep.
who are you talking to? Like you weren't even here. But she tries to make you feel like you need to contact her, you need to do this, you need to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy. But that's how they are. They feel entitled
Yes.
to everything and to everybody and to your time. But I'm the only one I would say in my family that will help hold my mom accountable.
Right.
I'm the only
Right.
like they my her sister will do it sometimes, but she has to get fed up first. She don't nip it in the bud. You know what I mean? She'll let it build up, and I won't.
That is something that I noticed in just my entire, oh, I don't even want to say how long I've been dealing with that thing. Oh my God, it was decades
Mhm.
that I carried that wound, and I noticed that every single time that I would try to reach out to someone, and I was heavy in the church because my grandmother was heavy in the church, so that was the foundation for, my spirituality.
Mhm.
And so, in my mind, well, I'm going to go and talk to somebody in the church. Okay.
Mm.
That's your mother. It'll pass. I think you're just making too much of it. Um
You're too
you,
sensitive.
you're too sensitive. You're
Mhm.
just a child. She's your mother. She is your greatest teacher.
Oh yeah, I heard that a lot. Well, that's your mother. That's your mother. You know.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's funny because my grandmother, same thing happened to her.
Mhm.
About 8 or 9 years old, she went to live with her grandmother, and her grandmother and
Mm.
her aunt raised her. And her mom just was gone in the wind, doing her own thing, and left
Mhm.
like 5 or 6 kids behind. And her father's mother raised her. And so, and her mother's mother, her father's mother and her mother's mother were best friends. And so
Mhm.
they lived next door to each other. They were best friends like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so she had both grandmothers basically, you know, next door to each other. But she was the one I think who wasn't as affected by it. I don't think,
Mhm.
you know, because she nurtured her siblings. She nurtured. That's where her nurturing I think came from. But
Right.
the other siblings weren't. I don't think they were as nurturing as she was. Even with their
Gotcha.
kids, because there's something going on. I don't really know, but I know that there's something going on with the other ones and their kids as well. So it's just a big snowball of hell.
Right.
that needs to be addressed because you
Exactly.
these curses and people can have healthy relationships, you know, healthy family dynamics and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's why you just need to talk about it because when you get it out there, because I talk about it a lot, and so people treat you how you let them treat you.
Yes.
So there's a difference now with how my mom treats me as opposed to before.
Mm-hmm.
She's more respectful now because probably she don't want to hear my mouth. She don't want to hear
Mm,
my opinion.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Right. Right.
if that's how it has to be, that's how it has to be.
Now, when I was writing about the mother wound and the way I presented it in my book,
Hmm.
I wrote it as a generational spiritual curse.
Hmm.
I talked about the visual patterns and not just from a psychological perspective. I didn't
Hmm.
talk, it's not a book just about how it made you feel. That's a part of it. But the way I framed it,
Hmm.
I literally came out and just told you that this is way deeper than the symptoms and the way it makes you feel. This is spiritual.
That's the part I really liked.
Hmm.
So go ahead with that because the biblical reference and all that, that just hit me. That was so on point. So can you talk about that a little bit so that way people can know what we're talking about?
So in the book, and I'm gonna start right from the moment that I got that download. Oh my God.
Hmm.
Because when I tell you I honestly thought I was done with the healing. I thought I
Hmm.
was done, but are we ever done? But I thought I had done enough, and I was just sitting there because my mother is the type that every 3 months you can set your watch by it. She's either gonna do something or say something just to make me feel bad or to break my spirit or do something,
Hmm. Hmm.
And I had lost my uncle, my brother slash uncle, which is
Hmm.
her brother.
Hmm.
And so I was actually grieving because we hadn't even had the service yet. And I received a letter from her, and I hadn't spoken to her, shoot, in over a year. And before then, I can't even tell you when.
Hmm.
But she wrote a letter to me, and this woman called me everything but a child of God. And I'm like, where is this coming from? She is still trying, And I just sat there and I was like,
Just to ruin your
just
day.
trying to, she was trying to break me and
Yeah.
mad that I pulled my energy back and went no contact. And I said, nah, something is
I've
up with
done that
this.
too. So
Yeah.
that must be part of the process.
It's a part of
'Cause
what we
I've
do,
done that too
but
for like
we
two
do it in
years.
reverse.
For two
We do
years.
it right. That's a part of our maintenance, right? Because we're going from the outside in.
Yeah.
We should be going from the inside out. And so in the midst of my grieving the person that had been there, because when my grandmother picked me up, I was 9 days old, and my uncle, he was 3 months old. So we grew up as twins.
Mm.
And I'm grieving him because I'm like, wait a minute, you've always been here. And I'm reading this letter and
Mhm.
the venom that was coming out of it. But, Spirit did tell me, go ahead and sage that letter before you read it, okay? And I did that.
So you didn't
And
read it at first?
no, I saged it first.
Whoa.
Because my spidey sense started tingling, and she never missed, never. And
Mm.
so when I saw the poison and all of the stuff that she was saying in that letter, something just like it was like that was the final straw. That was the moment that said, "I've had enough. This ends with me. We're not going to do this no more. It's got to be something because she keeps coming back. She keeps coming back. So it's got to be deeper than this." And I've always been that type that I'm not about the surface. It's something that's causing these wounds and pains and scars to keep coming to the surface, and we put medicine on it and we bandage up the wounds, and then later on it keeps coming right back. And I was sitting there at my kitchen table and I was meditating and I was talking to my ancestors. I was talking to the Most High. And when I tell you, I could hear, I could hear it. It says, and the voice just told me, Genesis, it's in Genesis. I'm like, what? It's in Genesis. I'm like, well, of course it's in Genesis. That's the beginning. Of course it's
Mhm.
there. And so, I have about 4 or 5 Bibles. I didn't throw my Bibles away
Mhm.
when I left the church. And I just said, you know what? I got my Bible and I was just thumbing through it like this right here. I'm like, well, whatever it opens up on, that's what we going through. That
Mhm.
sucker opened up on Genesis 3:15. And I started reading it. And it said, and I'm going to put enmity between your seed and her seed. First started talking to the serpent, then started talking to her. And I'm
Mhm.
like, enmity. Now I've seen that scripture many times, but I wasn't aware at
Mhm.
that time when I was in church. The I had scales on my eyes, and that third eye was like, read that one more time, read it one more time. And I read it. I said, enmity. Hold up. And I just sat there and I started thinking about that, and I started looking at the etymology of that word, the distortion, the break, the separation. And I said, what? Hold up. So Eve and Adam are in the garden, and there's a serpent, and the serpent says, let me holler at you for a minute.
Mhm.
I got something for you. I got some knowledge for you. And when you receive this knowledge is going to wake you up, and you're going to know who you are. You're going to remember, and you're going to remember how to rightly divide the word of truth. You're going to know what's right and what's wrong. You're not just going to be walking around here just blind like that. You're going to know. And I'm just sitting there reading, and I'm telling you, I could see the whole thing just roll out right in front of my face. And she thought about that because she is representing the divine feminine. And she was like, you know what? This look good to me because I need to know that. And she took the knowledge and she gave it to him too. And because she did that, because she chose to wake up and remember who she was, the so-called God of the Bible said, well, what's up? Why'd you do that? Didn't I tell you not to do that? And he got so pissed, had a tantrum right in the garden. And I'm not talking about the Most High. I'm not talking about the source. I'm not talking about the all. I'm talking about whoever was in that garden that said that he is the I am. And he got mad. And out of his mouth, he cursed her. He cursed her womb. He cursed divine consciousness. He cursed the very thing that all creation comes from, not just her children, but everything that she births out, her ideas, her businesses, her biological children, her the nations that she builds, every book that she would write, every grandchild and great grandchild, he cursed her entire lineage, including the men, because they too came from her womb, all because she chose to wake up.
Mhm.
And when that thing came down on me like that, it was like, what? Because that's the mother wound. That was the first cut. It happened right there. That one break right there. Every curse, every spoken spell, every working comes from that moment right there. And it just trickles down the bloodstream, and the patterns start to repeat, and they
Mhm.
pass it on to their generation, and their generation passes on to the next generation, until somebody in the bloodline wakes up and stands in the gap as the spiritual ambassador for that lineage and says, you know what, this ends with me. Because that curse cut her off, it separated her. You can't never be cut off from source, but it separated her knowing, because now she has to, like, I can't remember my knowing. Why is it so hard for me to tap back in? Because she knew before. She knew something. She knew enough to take that knowledge. She
Mm-hmm.
knew something, but before, she's walking around the garden naked. Her husband is walking around the garden naked.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it such a crime for you to not want to be naked? Because time she took the fruit, she was like, "Oh, I do not like this. I got a man right here, and you up here looking at my body." I don't think that's very godlike, especially when you turn around and in your scriptures you say a man should cleave to his wife. But what you looking at his wife for? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, all of this stuff just started coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's you. The blessings and the cursings came out of your mouth. He cursed the consciousness because that serpent represented divine consciousness and brought it down, because you know they have a way of taking making the sacred profane and bringing it down so that you can now look down upon it, so that you will never stand upright, so that you will never stand in your sovereignty, so that you will never move in your authority. It came right there. Nobody in that garden left unharmed. And ever since it that happened, the roles got reversed. The patriarchy just kept rolling over and over and over. And here we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I go into a lot of detail in that book about the stuff that went down with that. So,
That's so good. And yeah, that part I love. And so that made me, get my Bible out and read this whole section over. And it's on point. It's on point. Like that's the work we're doing, when we do these things and when we
exactly.
shine the light.
And um, just when I tell you, I slung so much snot and cried so many tears
Mhm.
writing this book, and I knew that I was being initiated. It wasn't just the fact that I was just writing a book for the sake of writing a book. Spirit was teaching me that, that saying that we always hear, the ancestors, you are the one the ancestors have been waiting on. It's you,
Mhm.
baby. You're the one. But nobody ever thinks why the ancestors were waiting on you. Why you? You know, is it so that you can have more than they had? Well, I guess that could be a part of it.
Mhm.
But from their perspective, they already know what time it is. And
Yeah.
they know that if there is not somebody who is going to stand in the gap as the spiritual ambassador for this bloodline, our bloodline is going to be psh, it's going to keep repeating over and over and over. And that's exactly what they want you to do. They want it to repeat. They don't want you to wake up.
Mhm.
And the thing that was also impressed upon me is that when we come here to this earth, and we're here to learn lessons, yeah, we are. But the curriculum, that
Mhm.
number one thing, is value. We come here to learn our value because our value is entrenched in everything that we do. And that's the
Mhm.
one thing that they use against us.
Yeah.
Everything. They separate us from the value of anything that we are attempting to create. Even in giving children, it, I don't care what it is. They don't want you to know your value, because if you don't know your value, then you can't create something of value. And
That's true.
Ooh, when I looked at that, when I tell you, all I could do was sit
That's
there
cute.
at my computer and the tears just started crying.
Mm.
Oh, when I tell you, cause baby, I slung snot from one end of my office to the next. You hear me? It was a hot. You talk about ugly face. I was toe down.
Oh, that's terrible.
I was toe down, and it was like a
Release.
ancient moaning. Yeah,
Ooh.
it was. You know how they
So
used to
you
say back
carrying
in
the
the
weight
day,
of the ancestors.
the
You're
whole
carrying
lineage.
that.
I'm like, and then I could feel my ancestors around me.
Mm-hmm.
I could just feel them. They're like, you are the one. I didn't know that I was the one. My grandmother told me I was the one in 2001.
Wow.
I didn't know what she was talking about.
Mm-hmm. She knew.
It was like 3 weeks before she died. And she said, I need you to take care of this family. I'm like, what? We talking about
Why
income
me?
taxes. What are
Right.
you
Why
talking about?
me? How many kids does she have? How many kids your grandma?
7.
And so you're like, why me? Like,
Okay.
I'm
You
the
know?
grandkid, right?
Like, Mom, what you talking about? You know them Negroes don't be paying me no attention.
Right. Right.
She said, you heard what I said. Take care of this family. I did not even realize it until maybe a couple of years ago that she wasn't talking about you make sure that you coordinate those family reunions.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you show up at the little cousins, sporting events. She
Mm-hmm.
was talking about doing the work to break
Mm-hmm.
the curse off of this bloodline. Oh, when I oh, oof, oof,
Mm-hmm.
oof, oh, I'm like me. I'm the black sheep.
Right.
My own mama don't want me. My own
Right.
daddy. Oh, both of them walked out on me, and you picking me?
Right.
Me? Yeah. Take care of the family.
Wow. Wow. That kind of take care. That was a deep. That's a lot.
She passed the
But she's
mantle.
probably the one. When did she pass?
2001.
2001. Yeah. She probably walked you right along through this process because you're going to help so many people.
Ooh.
You're going to help so many people. And it's not just your family, it's the greater family. So many people.
Honey.
I'm so glad you
Well,
did this work.
I feel I can finally talk about it without feeling some kind of way. I can
Hmm.
finally be walking through the park, and I'll see a mother and daughter, and I don't get a little stick in my stomach, or my
Hmm.
heart don't quiver because I'm like, why can't that be me?
Hmm.
You know, um, why can't that be me? Why when my mother? I ask myself at least 1 million why questions. Why my mama and my daddy didn't want me? Why? I just
Hmm.
don't even understand it.
Hmm.
And but I've done the work and I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand it. And I wanted to ask you, after doing the work that you've done to heal from this thing, do you think that your mother realizes that she too is carrying this wound?
No. To make no.
Does she even care? Does she care?
Right. She has no, she doesn't know, doesn't care. Like she had the best mom in the world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So so it didn't affect her like that. So she's more about self. And so she doesn't even see that. I don't think she even sees that she's done anything wrong.
Mm.
I really
Uh,
do.
I wanted to thank you again for writing that review. It really resonated with me. I screenshotted and got it on
Oh,
my phone and everything. I carry it everywhere that I go.
oh,
And
good. I just want to know how much you appreciate it because, man, there's so many people that need to read this.
yeah,
I don't know if they're ready though. You got to be ready because it's heavy.
It
It's
is
heavy.
heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy. You mentioned in the review that the book resonated with your own journey, and I know we've talked
Mm-hmm.
a lot about it already, but can you kind of take us back and kind of share a little bit about what the mother wound looked like in your life growing up, like some specifics before you started healing it and what it looks like now?
Well, what it looked like then was uh, abandonment. Like your mom's just isn't there. But I had a good feelings. So it's not like I was in a bad situation. So like a lot of people, I'm sure that could really get some therapy out of this book are the ones who were with not with family or in a worse situation. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, so I feel like in that way I'm blessed. I like to look at the bright side of things too, but in that way I feel like I'm blessed. But there was just like a distance growing up. Like we were glad to see her when she came down, to visit or whatever, but it wasn't like a closeness. She didn't like take us and oh, we're going to take you guys to lunch. You're my kids. I'm going to take you guys. It wasn't a special closeness because we were her children.
Mhm.
And so I feel like she just doesn't have the mother instinct. It's just not there. And so, and that's just like a genetic thing, I think, for her. And so I'm not to give her any excuses or anything, but I just felt like, and then not being made to be responsible because when my grandparents took us, they were like, "Oh, you can just give us like $50 a month or something." She never did. If she did, it was very rare. And so, and they put us through private school, everything. We got the best of everything. And so I just feel like she feels entitled.
Mm.
She just felt entitled, and there was no accountability there. And so when you grow up like that, I believe that you don't have an urgency to apologize for things or to reflect on what your part is in something that happened. And that's just what it is. So there's still some unfinished business with me and my mom, and that's about me finding about my real dad when I was like 50, finding out that I had a different dad, which I knew because
Mhm.
I knew in spiritually because I kept telling her, "You're that man is not on my birth certificate is not my dad because I'm nothing like you or him. It's got to be somebody else." And I kept telling her that, and she kept denying it, denying it, denying it. So then when I took a DNA test with his brother, the birth certificate brother, he was not my uncle, and so that's how I knew. I said, "I told you," and so she told me who it was right away, which she could have did 50 years ago.
Mm.
But to this day, it took her like 7 years just to apologize,
Mm.
and we still haven't had. I had forgiven her already. I said, "You have to forgive yourself. I've already forgiven you because I didn't want that to be my dad anyway. I was happy that wasn't my dad because he was a loser. So I was like, I know that's not my dad. So that's how I knew too. That was one of the ways I knew. But to this day, we haven't had a conversation. So I said, I forgive you, but we still need to have a conversation. And she said, I know. But to this day, we have not had a conversation.
Mm.
And so that's just the type of person she is. So going back to your original question, no, she doesn't see it.
Mhm.
She doesn't see it.
What happened during that moment when you made up your mind? You said, "Mm-mm, this right here, this ends with me." What was going on?
I didn't really look at it like this ends with me until I read your book. And then reflecting on what I did do, I was ending things. I when I was younger, I was probably like 22. And I was like, I'm not, this is it with me. And she has such negative energy and always have something negative to say that I had to block her out for like 2 years so that I could focus on school. I didn't want anybody saying anything negative to me and changing the energy and, around what I was trying to do for myself.
Mhm.
And so that helped me get through what I needed to. But yeah, so and then after that, I think sending my sister's kid home to her,
Mhm.
now that I'm thinking about it, sending her home, that
Right.
was a thing. Blowing up the family secrets, that was the thing, and having everybody having to deal with it, and live in reality instead of living in lies. And I think that it was painful, but I think that it has helped the family tremendously, like by leaps and bounds.
Good. Good.
Hmm.
I like to hear that because we all have we played a role in it, and it's just time. It's time to do a new thing. This the
Hmm.
secrecy is like one of the main ways that the curse keeps going.
Yeah, and the construct of religion will keep it going. That's your mother. Honor your
Mhm.
mother. Honor your mother. You know,
Mhm.
but read the rest of it.
Oh, hello. Don't push your kids to
Right.
wrath, okay?
Right. And I would always tell them, and even when the thing came out with my dad, they were all pitying her. I'm like, how are you pitying her? That just doesn't even make sense because I'm the one that lost something. But no one, well, one aunt one time asked me how I was feeling.
Mm,
She's deceased now, but and really sympathize. Like that's really bad. That's cold that she did that to you. But everybody else, oh, you shouldn't be mad at your mom. Don't be mad at your mom. Like I was the bad guy. They spread all these rumors in the family that I was the bad guy, and I wasn't because like I said, I was happy that that wasn't my dad. I don't want that to be my dad.
right.
And then my real dad ended up being a really cool guy, but I didn't get to meet him because he was already deceased.
Yeah.
But I found out a lot about him, and he was a really cool guy. And I would have been his only child, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. So that makes
Mm,
it really, really bad. And
mm.
but you know, that's how things are. That's how they are. And I it took a minute, you know, because I really would have loved to have met him. But it was
Wow.
it's like I was happy that wasn't my dad. Yeah, I'm mad that she didn't tell me, but I was happy that not that the other guy was not my dad.
And you knew it too. You knew it in your soul.
I knew it in my soul. I knew it
Mhm.
in my soul.
Mhm.
And
Did
then I looked just like him too. So
Oh,
that
well,
really,
then there's that.
yeah, that part made it bad because like,
Yeah.
okay, everybody knew. So at this point, I'm like, okay, all y'all knew, as far as I'm concerned.
And what would they gain from keeping that a secret from you?
Just
And
protecting her. It's just all about her. Just like I said, it's all about her.
mm.
It's all about her.
Well, now did
Even when they found out, it was all about her feelings, how she feeling. Not that I just found out that I had the wrong dad all this time. It was all about her feelings.
wow. Mm.
And she never even said anything. She did barely spoke to me for 5 years after that. It's so weird.
Oh, child.
It's so weird.
I wonder if she's related to my mama because
Right. It's
there's
like,
just too many similarities.
right. I'm
Too
about to
many.
go like that. I told you when I read this book, I'm like, oh my God, this is my story. But I didn't do
Oh my
but
God.
the last part I didn't do with candles and all that kind of stuff. But I healed in my way. And I had already come to grips with the mother wound from when I was like 22. And then just other things in my life and my relationship with her that I had to change things because of how everybody else treated her. And it's like, she can't do me that way. I'm not going to be the one nervous to buy her a gift because she might not like it. Like, she deserves everything perfect in her life.
Mm.
It's not going to be me. And I'm not going to have that pressure. And so that was my grandmother. When it came time to buy her a gift, she was nervous. She's anxious. Oh my God, I got to get her the right thing. You got to
Wow.
take me to this store because she wants this type of brand. If I don't get it, she's not going to be happy. So the thing about it is, everybody's worried about her being happy, but that is her manipulation because she likes not being happy. Or for people to perceive her not being happy, then they try to kiss her behind. And I'm not that one.
That's a long time.
I was,
Yeah.
but until I was like 22, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not doing this no more
See? Uh-huh.
because
And
you
they
don't
don't
bend
like
over
that. They don't
backwards.
want you to get to that
Right.
part.
If you don't bend over backwards for me, I'm not bending over backwards for you.
Uh-huh.
And that, I don't care who you are. And so that's just how I took it. So she would complain sometimes, like if I buy her a gift. Oh, I didn't want that. Oh, I didn't like that. I said, oh, okay, give it back. I'm going to take it back to the store. And then I would never replace it with anything.
Hey.
So finally, she started loving everything I buy. She loved it. Oh, this is nice. She never complained since. After about 2 or 3 times me doing that, then I don't have that problem no more.
Mm.
Like, you guys can have that problem if you want to, but that's not my problem.
Wow. So did healing this wound change how you show up in your profession, like with your patients?
Um, I kind of healed it before I got into the profession. Like, actually going through dental school, like I was 22, right? That's when I cut her off and had to focus and just on me getting to the next level. But going through that process and being alone, and it really helped me to distance myself and reflect on what was going on and set boundaries. So I think during that time is when I, took that time to decide what type of boundaries I wanted to set, and went from there.
So here's a question that I had to ask myself, and I have asked myself several times before I literally got to that place where I had the download. And that
Mhm.
is, how do you know that the wound is healed versus you just managing it? Like,
Well,
what does that feel like in your
well,
body or in your relationships?
I think you're going to always manage it, honestly, because other things popped up, like the father thing. I was all healed with that. Then the father thing, so then that goes back to her being able to get away with everything and not being held accountable. So it all goes back, everything goes back to that.
Mm.
And so who knows what else will pop up, but that's what popped up so far. But, and that, did something too. It estranged us a little bit, and our relationship is a little different because of that. But maybe I am managing it, but maybe because I'm optimistic too. And so I look at how good my childhood was, not the bad. You know what I mean? And it was
Mhm.
her loss not being in my life. That's how I feel. It was her loss not being there.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think she might feel that. It wasn't, she was mean, so I don't feel like I lost anything. And
Gotcha.
if she was different, it would be more hurtful, I think. Like
Understandably.
if she had other kids and that she raised and didn't raise us, then I would feel probably a little bit different. But then again, I don't know, because I might say, oh, well, she's more mature now. But no, because I have friends who that did happen to, that their mom had other kids that they raised, but they were not in any bitter situation. She's who she is.
Right.
She is. And she knows it because one New Year, she says, Oh, my New Year's resolution is I'm going to try to be nice this year. So if you have a New Year's resolution that you're going to try to be nice, you already know you're not. And she just can't help it. I think she needs a exorcism or something. I don't know. Maybe she has an attachment because she knows and she's gotten better because um, we have told her, like you're just too mean. So she's gotten a little bit better, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She definitely is screaming attachment
Yes,
or
she needs to do some
attachments.
work. Right, she needs to do the work, and I don't
Please
think
give her
she.
my number.
Okay, she needs to do. I don't know if you want that. You want the sage every session. I don't know if I want to do that to you.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh
I don't
my
know if I want to do
goodness.
that, but because she's 84, so she's set in her ways. It would be good if she wanted to, but a little bit she kind of did, because I'm telling you, that time she said my New Year's resolution is going to be to try to be nice. She knows it, like,
Like really? You
right.
she's saying it.
She's not trying to do nothing about it because that was a while
Oh,
ago. So
right.
if she knows that, she should try to work on it.
So let's look down in some of these comments here
Okay.
and see. Can you see comments on your end?
Um,
Let's see
Yo,
here.
Donna Davis, this one, the relatives allowed her to continue on her bad treatment of the child and not holding her responsible and letting her get away with. Yeah, absolutely. Also, not letting the child voice their opinion in any way, traumatizing to the. Absolutely, and they don't see that it's traumatizing. Like it's just um, it's just normal for them, so they don't
Right.
see it as traumatizing. Just like a lot of kids, I always talk about grief and how kids can lose, say, a grandparent or uncle, auntie, and they go to the funeral, then they go to school. Like nobody talks to them about it. Nobody gets their feelings out. And then they'll start acting out in school and doing things like that. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it has to do with not listening to the child, not giving
Mm-hmm.
them voice, not letting them say how they're feeling. And that's kind of what happened in our situation. I feel like they didn't let us voice what was on our mind. I believe my sister did go to therapy though when she was in high school. I'm gonna
Mm.
ask her because she would be just bad. She was smart as a whip, but she was just bad.
Mm.
So
Okay. Let's see here. All right. Da-da-da. Oh, did it do that one? Let me see. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to.
that's true too, Alicia. That's so true because that's going on even now. And I would tell, like with her great grand or her grandkids, she tries to reach out to them, but they don't respond. Like they don't text her back, and so she'll get feel a certain way about
Mm.
that. But yeah, now she does try to reach out to them. But I've seen a lot of that where they expect the child to call them, to call the parent, or to call
Yes, they
like,
do.
you're the parent. You need to be reaching out to your kids on a regular
Yes,
basis.
that's right. Yep, they sure do. I know mine doesn't.
Yeah, I
She-
totally agree with that, Alicia.
All right, let's see. Okay, I am just looking here. So for the viewers who are watching now, what would you tell them? What message of hope and reassurance that you could give them
Mhm.
about this topic? What would you say to them? And for the ones that are going to watch this on replay, maybe 3 months from now.
I would say do the work. Do the work. Read about it because Pia wrote a really good book about all of this, and you will not feel alone. Here's my book right here. You you will not feel you will not feel alone. You will see yourself in a lot of these circumstances, and then you'll get uh, like tips on how to handle it. And so you have to work your way through it. And I believe, are you working on a workbook for it?
Yes, I'm
So
gonna
that
talk
would
about
be,
that
yeah,
in
that
a
would be
minute.
really good to just work it out and set your boundaries. I think the most important thing if you want to get started in healing is to set boundaries
Mhm.
because letting someone just repeatedly offend you is not healthy.
Exactly. Well, I only wanted to keep you for an hour, and we are
Okay.
right at that hour mark. Now,
Wow.
can you tell everyone how they can get in contact with you? If anyone's watching, they're in the LA area,
Well,
you can
yeah.
go and
So
look
you
her
can,
up.
yeah, it's Tamara Dixon, DDS. I am at Dr. Dixon645 at gmail.com. That's my email. So if you have any questions about the health of your mouth, if you need a sleep test or anything like that, you can always email me. And then my Instagram is at Dr. Tamara Dixon, I think.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's it.
just put your link up there in the comments.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
good.
I just appreciate you so much. You don't know how you we met at the right
I'm
time.
so glad. Yeah. See, synchronicity, synchronicity.
Yes, we met at the
Mhm.
right time, and I just certainly appreciate you for coming on the Soul Spot Live and sharing your wisdom and helping to get this conversation started because
Oh,
for so
we got to
long
get
they
it
just
rolling.
didn't want us to do it.
Yeah, we have to get this out there and get it
Oh,
rolling. So you need
absolutely.
to do some book tours. I'm gonna start looking for you some speaking engagements, book tours, because this has got to get out. So many people. I do a lot of women's events too, but so many people could benefit from naming this. Just naming it gives you more power.
Absolutely. It does. And
Hmm.
so I know how important it is. So I have created a support group for the daughters and um a place where on and it's on Patreon, and it's a sacred healing space for us so that we can come in and be support to one another. We can talk about it. We can go through the workbook. The workbook is I print them to order.
Okay, print
And
on demand.
right.
Hmm.
And we're going to go through that workbook. We're going to look at how we heal. There's two tiers to the um, to the Patreon. The first tier is talking about spirituality. We talk about past lives.
I love
We
that.
talk about reincarnation and things like that, shadow work, and the importance of doing this work because we can't just be sayers and not doers, or we're going to keep this cycle continuing, and we don't want that. We are the cycle breakers. Now,
Hmm.
this other tier, that's the healing space. That's where we're actually going to do that work. We're going to go through that workbook. We're going to talk about this mother wound. We're going to do that shadow work. We're doing all the things up in there.
Hmm.
So, I got it up now. And I would say the next couple of days I'll have some content in there, but I want to do a live meet and greet sometime this week. So I have the link
Hmm.
right down there in the comments for everyone. Dr. Dixon's link is in there if y'all want to reach out to her. And if you have not ordered the Mother Wound, there's a link right there. And when you order it off of that link, I will personally autograph it for you. And you get a little gift too.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So
So is
there
that where
you have
you
it.
oh, thank you, Donna. I'm looking at the comments right now.
Let's see. Oh, my little thing wasn't scrolling. Here we go. What's that one right there? So, who is that right there?
Alicia says that was her childhood too. Yeah, we need a support group.
We
So we're
do.
gonna all get on this Patreon and let our leader Pia walk us through this.
I'm just looking to see any
I'm gonna
other.
send this book to my sister so that she can read it too.
You
But
think she'll read it?
she's a womb too. She's for her kids. I need to send it to her and her daughter. Her and her daughter. They all need to read it. And the granddaughter. They all need to read it.
No, I think that, you know what, I'm going to start reaching out to these family reunion groups. And like,
I don't know if they want to do it there.
No, not there, but they need to include it in their reunion packet with the T-shirt and the cap. Have a book in there.
You're going to have them fighting at the reunion. I think we need to do the women's conferences.
Absolutely.
And the health conferences, because it's mental health, you know?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely correct about that. So do y'all have any other questions for Dr. Dixon or for me? Put them in the comments because we did so good on time. Well, we did real good on time.
No good. I'm trying to see where is the links that you put in here.
Okay, can you see your okay?
I can see comments, but I don't see any links.
It should be. Hold on, let me see. Mm-hmm.
Susie, Marquise, Donna, Leanne.
So it's not popping up over there? Why are you not popping? Oh, did I not press send?
Bro, you didn't press send.
Can you see it now?
Yes. Now I can see it. I'm glad I said something, we'll all be looking for it.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Reading is fundamental, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hey, y'all, I'm trying to get acclimated to this platform.
So is that going to be also the workbook? Can you order the workbook? Because I only have the book. I don't have the workbook.
The workbook is, let me put that link in there too. There we go. All right, let's grab that. All right, let me paste it in here. Okay. And remember to press send. All right, there we go. There. So for the workbook, I just paste that link in there and I did press send. So look and make sure that you see it.
Yeah, I see
you
it.
See it?
Mm-hmm. When are the classes going to start?
I want everyone to get the workbook. So I'm going to probably wait for like 2 weeks so that I can put it in the mail. They can read at least the intro and the first chapter of it. And then we can come and get together with that.
Do a meeting. Okay.
Because I'm planning on doing like a live, meeting 2 or 3 times a month. Oh, but I'll be in there and we can chop it up in there like that. Yes, ma'am.
So that sounds like a plan. But yeah, I'm gonna send this to my sister.
Appreciate it. Let's spread the word, y'all.
Reads a lot too.
Y'all share this video out to your friends and give it a thumbs up if you have not subscribed to my channel here and on YouTube and everywhere. Please do. We got to get this word out. It's time for us to heal.
I'll send it to a friend or two, but my family, they're gonna be mad.
Oh, mine is mad. They don't even talk to me about it. They're like, what? You did what to your mother?
Right. That's your mother.
Whatever.
Right.
Because when I tried to talk to you when I was 5, 6, 7, 17, 27,
Right.
37, 47, 57, you didn't want to hear that.
Mhm.
You didn't want to
Right.
hear it.
It's just crazy. But we're gonna work through it. We're gonna have this support group so we can compare notes because it's a theme and we need to get it categorized and it's a theme to this.
Yes, it is.
It's, it's
We're gonna
definitely.
break these cycles, break these curses,
Mhm.
and yeah.
Mhm.
Well, all right, Dr. Dixon. Again, thank you so much for being my special guest today. And I'll be calling you in the next week. I'll call you
Okay.
probably
All
about
right.
Thursday.
Okay.
All
Everybody
right.
enjoy the rest of their Sunday. Have a lovely day. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Okay. Bye bye. Thanks, Donna. Okay. Bye bye.